For the 128th time, it is Rollins versus Tampa in a series that will have plenty of significance for two teams looking to make the postseason in just a month's time. Good evening, everyone, from Visman Only Family Field. Alongside Bruce Wozniak, I'm Victor Anderson. Glad that you're with us here on Tampa Spartans TV and the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Bruce, when you think of Rollins versus Tampa, you think of two teams who are known for elite pitching. And you're going to see that tonight in the reigning pitcher of the week for Rollins and Reese Twiggs. And for Tampa, the pitcher of the week a week ago, and the player of the year, potentially, in one Gwen McGinnis.
Yeah, what an amazing 2026. Gwen McGinnis is having a 0.56 earned run average. Do not adjust your sets. That's right, 0.56 in 33 appearances. She has a 17-3 one-loss record. This is all over 124 and a third innings pitched. And Victor, her first strikeout tonight will be her 100th of the season.
It was make McGinnis so remarkable. It's not just the strikeout total, Bruce, but the walk total. She has nearly doubled the number of wins as walks she's allowed all season. 17 wins, only 9 walks allowed for the reigning pitcher of the year, and certainly making a case to be back-to-back pitcher of the year for the Sunshine State Conference. Rollins comes in 24-12, fresh off an impressive 3-game sweep at home at MLK Park versus Barry, in which the Tars swept the Conference Player of the Week awards. We'll talk about that during our contest tonight.
This is one of those somebody's streak is going to end games. The Spartans come in on a 4-game winning streak, and Rollins on that 3-game winning streak.
Dylan Mahotnick will lead things off. Brianna Petrioni will hit second. Rachel Mathisen will hit third for the Hall of Famer Christine Rosa Lefevers in her 5th season at the helm. First pitch is swung on a foul, and we're on the way. Mahotnick hitting .327. 4 home runs on 4 RBIs on the season. Rollins as a team hitting .305 with 17 driven in. That was misses upstairs for a ball, 1-1. Rest of the lineup for Rollins. Cambry Todd, she'll hit cleanup. She'll play first. Brooke Dyson, the Tars leading hitter. She'll hit 5th. She'll play 3rd. Maddie Carr will catch. She'll hit 6th. That one's upstairs, 2-1. Kaylee Zervatnik will hit 7th. She'll play left field. Claire Long will bat 8th and play 2nd. Michaela Layton will play shortstop, wear number 9, and hit in the 9 hole. Right in the corner for a strike. He was up to count 2-2.
It is a tremendously sunny Friday night here in Tampa. Game time temperature of 85 degrees.
And the sun will be a factor, particularly on that left side of the defense, as Hedmonic fouls out one away, keeps the count even 2-2.
This is the first of 3 games between these two teams in less than 24 hours. They have a scheduled doubleheader here tomorrow.
Doubleheader is set to be at 1 and 3. There'll be plenty of action here. The Mainoli Athletic Complex. Women's lacrosse will be in their quarterfinal round of the conference tournament. Literally right behind us as Hedmonic battles against McGinnis to start off our contest tonight. Tampa took 2 out of 3 in Winter Park last year, but the Tars salvaged the game, shutting out the Spartans 6-0. Now one will again be fouled away, and great job by Hedmonic, giving a lot of information to Peritoni and Mathisen behind her, leading things off against Gwen McGinnis. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is down and inside, and the count is full.
Really making McGinnis work. This leadoff hitter, top of the first. Game just underway.
Yeah, pitch, and again gets a hold of one that will go foul the screen behind the Tampa dugout. Spartans defensively will have Abby Johnson left, Joey Treywick in center, Cam Feaston right. We'll give you the infield and the battery after this 3-2. That'll be shallow center field. Joey Treywick is there, and after a long 11 pitch at bat, it ends up being an FA for out number 1.
At the same time, if you're Rollins, you got to be somewhat happy that your leadoff hitter made McGinnis work that long, despite the out.
Brianna Perrintoni to play for the Tars. Goes out to the first pitch, and it'll be Cam Feast calling off Hannah Yetter, almost in the infield to make the play for round number 2.
Kind of polar opposite at-bats there.
12 pitches to retire Hemanic and only 1 to retire Perantoni. Here comes Rachel Mathieson for Rollins. 3 straight lefties in the order for Tars. First pitch off the glove of McGinnis, but gets it over to first base, does Reynolds for a 1-6-3 put out. So 2 pitches needed for the final 2 outs, and the Tars go down in order in the top of the first inning. Tampa will grab the sticks for the first time when we return to Minimum Only Family Stadium on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Top of the first, Gwen McGinnis retires the Tars in order. And the reigning conference pitcher of the week, Reese Twiggs, will look to do the same to the Spartans at the bottom of the first. Victor Anderson alongside Bruce Wozniak, glad you're with us on a sunny Friday evening here in Tampa, Florida. Twiggs, the junior, making her 19th start of the season. She is 12-7 with a 2.43 ERA. Coming off her best 2 outings of the season versus Barry, where she held the Buccaneers to just 4 hits in 13 innings as the Tars swept the Buccaneers, and Twiggs won Sunshine State Conference Pitcher of the Week honors. A couple of switches in the lineup for Tampa as Jenna Newpaver takes that for strike 1. Abby Johns will be back in the 2 slot. Cam Feast will hit third. Kenna Kreidler will hit cleanup. Joey Trawick got their 3-hit performance versus Nova Southeastern will once again hit 5th. I bounce over to second, handled easily by Long, but that was a little errant, and that will be it'll be safe for Newpaver.
And Newpaver, the Spartans still have a decent amount of softball left to play before the regular season ends. Newpaver's had a really nice freshman season. She came into today hitting .306, and you see her reach base there. Just like the Tars got a shot in the arm in the top of the first with that long first at-bat, even though it resulted in an out. Obviously a big shot in the arm here for Tampa, getting the leadoff runner aboard, and good hustle by Jenna Newpaver.
Johns lays down a bunt right down to third. They'll get the throw to first base, so it'll be a 5-3 sacrifice bunt for Abby Johns. And just like that, Tampa in business, something that Coach Christine Roosevelt-Fevers has seen plenty of times as a Hall of Famer behind the plate, and now as the head coach of Rollins. And here comes Cam Feast.
And specifically, the Spartans season does not end until the 9th of May. So still plenty of games left here in 2026 in the regular season.
And, of course, the first regional quote-unquote rankings coming up. Cam Feast goes out to the first pitch, left center field. Zarodnik goes there. She makes the catch. Coach Leslie Cantor, well, hoping Newpaver could tag up. But instead, it's going to be out number 2. And here comes Kenna Kreidler.
Yeah, Newpaver looked like she wanted to go, and obviously her coach told her otherwise.
So here comes Kenna Kreidler to the plate. We give it the rest of the Tampa lineup. Joey Trawick's on deck. Makai Brummel O'Neill should be the designated player. She'll hit 6th with Hannah Yetter, Carly Salisbury, and Kenzie Reynolds comprising the bottom third of the Spartan order. Kreidler, she goes out to the first pitch, and that one will land just into the glove of Dyson. And just like Rollins in the top of the first, Tampa goes out to the first pitch, and they leave a runner in scoring position. So no runs on 1 hit, 1 Spartan left on base. A quick moving first inning. No score on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Top of the second at Mamoli Family Stadium alongside Bruce Wozniak. Victor Anderson, glad that you're with us. And Bruce, for those joining us late, Gwen McGinnis needed 13 pitches to get through the first, but it was your unconventional 13-pitch first inning as she'll take on Cambry Todd to start off the second, and Todd takes strike one.
Yeah, very much so. If you were following along online and you were looking at live stats and said, well, she threw 13 pitches in the first inning, that kind of sounds like a routine first inning for her. No, there was 11 pitches to the leadoff hitter, and then one to the number 2 hitter and one to the number 3. So very lopsided in terms of how she got to 13. And amazingly, on the other side, Reese Twiggs only needed 5 pitches in the bottom of the first.
And McGinnis needs 3 pitches to retire Cambry Todd to start off the second, and that is the 100th strikeout on the season for the All-American Gwen McGinnis.
Just another notch in her belt. I think the thing's got so many holes and it's not going to hold anybody's pants up. She's hit so many accomplishments, checked off so many boxes, and 100 strikeouts in the season is just the latest.
Picked up her 50th career win earlier this season, and of course the Duke Conference mark for scoreless innings in the season, 64, which she set on this very field a month ago versus Embry Riddle. Upstairs to Brooke Dyson, he was up to count 1-1. Dyson hits 387, 15 runs driven in. A lot of the power for this Rollins lineup comes in the 6-7 spot. What does it mean with Maddie Carr and Kaylee Zadraknik on deck respectively? 2 balls and 1 strike to Brooke Dyson.
Yeah, that streak of scoreless innings that you just referred to, she broke the previous record from Kayla Cox, and there's probably a number of other Spartan pitchers who this season watched their records fall too, as McGinnis just continues to etch her name into program history.
Deanna Henry, Julia Morrow, just among some who was in that top 5 before McGinnis twirled probably one of the greatest months of pitching brilliance in Spartan history. That will be flared, and Salisbury runs into the net, but can't get there. Brings the count to 2-2. Defensively for Tampa, Salisbury would be at first, Yetter at second, Reynolds at short, New Paver at third, Kenna Kryler behind the plate catching for McGinnis, and in the outfield, Cam Feaston right, Joey Trawick again with the start in center, with Abby Johns on left. That misses on the outside edge, and it's a full count. Ralph Rodriguez behind the plate calling the balls and strikes. Andrew Donawa at first. The payoff pitch to Dyson. Gets jammed, and that will trickle right in front of the on-deck circle of the Spartan dugout.
I think Brooke Dyson is doing her impersonation of that first inning, that leadoff at-bat by Hedmonic that we saw go 11 pitches long.
And we'll have a similar result out in the air, this time softly lined to Reynolds, out number 2. Christine Rosel, the Fevers, in her 5th season, taking over as her alma mater, was inducted to the Rollins College Hall of Fame back in 2022. Is in for strike 1. She is one of 2 coaches, Bruce. A little trivia question for you. She is one of 2 coaches in the Sunshine State Conference to be elected to her school's Hall of Fame and be their head coach. We'll give you that answer at the end of this inning. McGinnis recovers at the mishandling to saw grounder by Carr. And another 1-2-3 inning for Gwen McGinnis. So, Bruce and everyone else at home, you ponder the answer to that question. What other Sunshine State Conference head coach was also inducted to their school's Hall of Fame? We'll give you the answer after this on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Bottom of the second we go at Mamoli Family Stadium. Victor Anderson alongside Bruce Wozniak. It'll be 5-6-7 duo for the Spartans. Joey Trawick, Micaiah Brumble O'Neal, and Hannah Yetter to take on Reese Twiggs.
You know, Victor, pretty amazing that Twiggs, her pitch count we said was only 5 in the bottom of the first. And keep in mind that Tampa did get a runner aboard.
That was on the second pitch of the inning. Infield single by Jenna Newpaver. John Spees and Kryler all swung at the first pitch, or in this case, for John's bunted after the first pitch, and in the inning for her. Joey Trawick, remarkable turn of events for her in the last month plus of the season. She went from late inning defensive replacement and occasional pinch hitter to being in the middle of this Tampa lineup. Trawick hitting .217 on the season, but those numbers are deceiving when you really break down what she's been doing in conference play for the Spartans. And that one drops in by Twiggs for a strike to bring the count to 1-2. Trawick in conference play this year hitting .346 with 4 RBIs. She's second in the Spartans in hitting in conference play, only behind Cam Feast. Fouls down one off. Keeps the count stays on 1-2.
Tell you what, this game has the feel of a couple of conference rivals going head-to-head, as evidenced by the crowd. People still coming into the stands, and I'm looking out the press box window, and I don't want to say every seat is full, but if you're on your way here, you better get here right away, or every seat is about to be full. As
I can attest from previous experience, the Rollins faithful makes that hour-and-a-half, 2-hour trip up I-4. Fouled away, but pops out of the glove of Carr. And it's the 128th meeting all-time between Rollins and Tampa.
Yeah, I'm looking in one section and seeing lots of blue and gray. The Tars supporters, as you say, that are all here rooting on their team, hoping they'll see their team keep the winning streak going.
Trawick flares that one towards the Rollins bullpen on the right field line. To answer the trivia question I posed early in the top of the inning, Christine Rose of the Fever is one of 2 head coaches to be a Hall of Fame player at their respective school that they coach now. Trawick bounces that one past the shortstop Layton, and Joey Trawick continues her red-hot hitting in conference play with the leadoff single.
Yeah, it's good to see Trawick bouncing back. She came into today with a .217 average. I remember not that long ago calling a game here where her average was something down around maybe 145, so it tells you how hot she's been.
She has been swinging a red-hot stick as of late. Now on a 4-game hitting streak with that infield single. High Brumble O'Neal with the bunt. That will be just out over at first, so another sacrifice bunt for the Spartans. By the way, to answer that question, the other head coach, Aaron Kimberger, at St. Leo, the head coach of the newly minted #1 team in the nation. First time in program history, the Lions have been atop of the Division II rankings, and we will presume there will be, whenever the true regional rankings come out in 2 weeks, will be the tops in the region. Here's Hannah Yetter. Take strike one. The first regional rankings that will likely be released Wednesday, of course, will always be in alphabetical order in terms of teams under consideration. And then you'll have 2 weeks of true actual rankings before Selection Monday takes place. Tampa are trying to find themselves in prime position to make another postseason tournament and try and defend their super regional title.
I want to go back to the previous batter, Brumble O'Neal, and the out. That's how a team gets to be 24-12 like Rollins is. That was
hit well to right field. Coach Cantor will wave around Trawick. Fellow played it short, but Trawick slides and save. Yetter scampers over to second. Leslie Cantor rolls the dice, comes up 7, and it's a 1-0 Spartan lead on the RBI by Hannah Yetter, just her 5th on the season.
At the same time, I do want to compliment Maddie Carr, the Rollins catcher. That ball was on a line to first base. I mean, that was a no-doubter, as they call them, And that's the difference between good teams and bad teams. We see the teams, Victor, that come through here, and the catcher will miss a throw like that should be routine. That's why those teams struggle. They hover around the 500 mark. They just can't get on track. A team like Rollins, there's going to be no question when Carr throws to first base and gets those outs for them routinely.
Twiggs asked for the recall of that pitch call to set up to Callie Salisbury. She goes after the first pitch, and that will be a diving catch behind first base by Long. Nice play defensively by senior Claire Long to possibly save runners at first and third.
Yeah, that's another example right there. Great hard work defensively, and the Tars making sure that the Spartans don't do more damage. Granted, they do still have one more out available, but really trying to limit Tampa here in the bottom of the second.
Reynolds' first pitch, she drops that into center field. Coach Cantor will bring her around Yetter. Throw to the play. She's out. Great relay by Hitmonic. And a nice tag by Carr to cut down Hannah Yetter to end the inning. But the Spartans do strike first on a Hannah Yetter RBI single. 1 run on 3 hits. No errors, 1 left. We're head to the top of the third. 1-0 Tampa on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Top of the third on a beautiful Friday evening here in the Moley Family Stadium. I'm glad you're spending it with us on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Alongside Bruce Wozniak, Victor Anderson here with you. Spartans take a 1-0 lead on an RBI single by Hannah Yetter. Gwen McGinnis has retired the first 6 Tars she's faced. So Ronnie, Long, and Layton, 7-8-9. She drops down the bunt. Nope, but she's going to say the ball hit her when she was out of the box. Home plate umpire Ralph Rodriguez calls her out, and I will warn a conversation from head coach Christine Rose of the Fevers. Rodriguez was on top of it. And I think what he's saying is that she laid down the bunt, and then as the foot was going out in the field of play, it may have hit her knee. So now Rodriguez will come over to Andrew Donawa, the first base umpire, to see if he had a better vantage point from first base.
Yeah, this gets tricky, and obviously you want to get the call right. I know the fans want the umpire to get it right in real time as it's happening, but especially in a nail biter like this one probably will end up. You got to make sure you get it right, and they stick with the out call.
Yeah, I mean, I think what probably happened was that Mr. Rodriguez asked his partner if he had a vantage point to see that he saw anything different. He said, I didn't have a clear angle, so the call by our home plate umpire stands. It goes as a 2 unassisted for those of you scoring at home. And we know, Mr. Fogel, you are doing so wherever you may be watching us this evening as Claire Long takes ball 1 up and inside. Tampa leads the all-time series against Rollins 73-54. And these two teams have had many a battle here in this very diamond. Christine Rose of the Fever is a part of several of those battles during her playing days. So she was a All-American catcher and a 2-time Diamond Sports Catcher of the Year. And the ironic thing, Bruce, next week, Christine Rose of the Fevers will host the woman she replaced at Rollins, Michelle Frew, who's a head coach at Eckerd, as Newpaper gets the ground out for out number 2. Needless to say, there may be a few fans out in Winter Park for that little reunion, if you speak, between a teacher and pupil.
Yeah, it's always fun to see those storylines and how things come full circle, especially some of these coaches that we've seen that have these tremendously long careers, as evidenced by look no further than Leslie Cantor. The many years she has spent here at the helm of the Spartans.
30 years to be specific, closing in on 900 career wins. Has a chance to get that, and the Spartans make another deep postseason run. Michaela Layden takes the strike, evens up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Layden hitting at a nice spot, hitting 163 with 4 runs driven in. So very experienced Rollins lineup. 7 seniors in the starting 9 for Coach Christine Rose of the Fevers. Of course, she was a part of our Rollins team who, back in 2011, hosted regionals for the first and only time in program history. And, of course, Tampa was a part of that regional as Layton goes down swinging. Second strikeout for Gwen McGinnis. She's retired 9 straight Tars in a row. 2.5 in the books. 1-0 lead for the Spartans on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Bottom of the third, Tampa 1, Rollins nothing. Here on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Victor Anderson alongside Bruce Wozniak. And Bruce, kind of a tale of 2 different lineups. Tampa, a lot of youth, some veterans mixed in there. But for Rollins, as I highlighted in the top of the inning, 7 seniors in the starting lineup for Coach Christine Rose of the Fevers, which pushed the Tars in a very intriguing situation going towards the end of the season.
Yeah, look at this Spartans lineup. So here's New Paver starting off the bottom of the third, the leadoff hitter. So the Spartans 1, 2, 3 hitters are freshman, sophomore, junior. And to go down the Tars batting order, the 9 players at least that are in this game, 7 of the 9 are seniors. Now, it's kind of like that game that you'll play in pro sports where you say, do we want to go out and spend the money and get the guy that's an expensive veteran, but he might get us over the edge to get us? This is a little bit different in college sports.
Yeah, I was flying to shallow center left field for Ceramic for out number 1.
You know, you're out there recruiting, right? But you're also trying to win with the program that you have. And all of a sudden here you are, and you go, wow, 7 out of the 9 players that are in the batting order tonight for Rollins, they're all going to be gone. So it's a very delicate chess match that you play. You want to get some of those young players in. You also want to win now. It's quite a challenge, and I'm sure that that's in consideration when you are out there recruiting.
Solo handled by Layton, out number 2, and Rollins really has 9 seniors and a graduate transfer. 7 of them have come by way of the transfer portal. Of course, with Rollins, with Tampa, only 2 transfers. One of them, Kelsey Winters, who is not available today, and the other one at the plate in the form of Cam Feast.
You know, once you get this late in the season, you got a record like Rollins has of 24-12. You say, okay, well, you know, we want to keep that record up there. We can't experiment too much. We can't gamble too much. And then the other argument is, yeah, but you do need to see at some point what you have on the bench for next year when you do lose those 7.
Yeah, well, Rollins still has hopes of trying to make a postseason run. Out brace into Feast, catches strike 1-1. Of course, we mentioned Rollins. They're coming out of the final 3 series of the season, including this weekend. They host Eckerd next weekend. They have the bye week, and then they wrap up the regular season at home versus Palm Beach Atlantic. Misses low to Carr, 2-1.
Yeah, just in terms of conference play, not much room for error at all. If you're Rollins, currently sitting 12-9 in the conference, I'm going to say a big difference from the Spartans being 13-5.
2 games behind Eckerd, who they will host to end the regular season. Feast back up the middle, and there'll be a 2-out single for the junior right fielder, Cam Feast, who continues to pun intended feast on conference pitching. Cam comes in with a team best 429 average in conference play. And here comes Kenna Kreidler.
Yeah, nice job by Feast to find that little bit of an opening just over the left edge of the second base bag. And so the Spartans quietly have piled up 5 hits. Granted, there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the third.
Kreidler at the plate. Fouled out on the first pitch outside of third. Goes out to the first pitch again. Will fly out to Zaranek, and that will end the inning. So 2 pitches taken by Kreidler, ends up in 2 outs, and down go the Spartans in the third. Can't take advantage of the Camp Feast 2-out single. 3 innings in the books at the Moline Family Stadium. 1-0 lead for the Spartans here on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Back here in the top of the fourth in Tampa, Florida, Gwen McGinnis being Gwen McGinnis. She's retired the first 9 tars she has faced. And as a 1-0 lead, Victor Anderson, Bruce Warzian, glad that you're with us on this Friday evening. And if it's possible, McGinnis had a stellar season last year to win Sunshine State Conference Pitcher of the Year honors and was second-team All-American. And it's been even better this year. You referenced her dental floss thin .56 ERA, picked up her 100th strikeout on the season, and almost gave up the first base hit of the night, but that was fouled away by Hedmonic as the top of the order is due up for the Tars in the fourth. But what you point out, Bruce, so many times, she does not waste much time from pitch to pitch. Gets the ball, sets up, and deals it into home plate.
Yeah, and in case you just joined us, she is now on the other side of 100 strikeouts for the season. Came into tonight with 99 in 2026 and has 2 so far in this game.
1 ball, 1 strike. The Hedmonic flew out to center on 11-pitch at bat in the top of the first. But the next 2 Tars went out on 1 pitch respectively to end the inning.
The other thing about McGinnis, she's always been very just kind of withdrawn. You don't see her be real demonstrative. You don't really see her show much emotion out there. As great as she does and getting her team out of some difficult moments, you never really see her very animated whatsoever.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Hedmonic. McGinnis now with 38 pitches. 29 strikes, 39, a little flare to left, handled by Abby Johns. And that's out number 1.
Tell you, I've got to go out of my way again to say how wonderful it is to see such a packed crowd here on this Friday night.
A lot of electricity in the air, of course. Men's lacrosse enjoying their bye. They will play in the semifinals on the 22nd. Women's lacrosse will play tomorrow afternoon at noon. And, of course, softball will have their doubleheader versus Rollins at 1 and 3 here tomorrow afternoon. So a busy afternoon of action. Of course, Tampa baseball victorious in Winter Park against the Tars earlier today, 6-1.
Yeah, you mentioned that drive, upwards of 2 hours, and obviously makes it a lot more tolerable, traffic notwithstanding, when you're bringing a W back home.
Misses on the outside edge. They'll appeal to first. No swing, obviously, says Mr. Andrew Donawa at first. Rob Rodriguez, a home plate umpire for our opening game of this 3-game set. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Peritoni. Skill swing out of the rise ball. 3rd strikeout of the night for Gwen McGinnis. 2 down in the Rollins 4th.
Boy, that's one of those that you put on a how-to video for young kids to learn. That rise ball is absolutely fooled Peritoni.
So 2 away. Here comes Mathisen. She goes out to the first pitch. Johns with room and foul ground. 12 up, 12 down for Gwen McGinnis. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth. 1-0 Tampa on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Bottom of the fourth, we go here in Tampa, Florida, alongside Bruce Wozniak. Victor Anderson, glad that you're with us. A special hello to the Rollins faithful who are following us tonight on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Bruce, I think you were aware of this, but I'll bring it up to the fans. From 2011 to 2018, I had the honor and privilege of calling Rollins softball for then Coach Michelle Frew, and got to see Christine Roser and a lot of the greats for Rollins come on this very field and have many battles with Coach Leslie Cantor as Joey Trawick gets jammed up and fouls that one away.
Yeah, and I've been here at UT long enough that I've gotten to see the Corinne Miners and the Julia Moros of the world in this pitching circle that Gwen McGinnis has absolutely taken charge of.
Joey Trawick has been taking charge. And her time in this lineup. Got a single and to lead off the second and scored on the Henna Yetter RBI. That's the only run of the game so far. 1-1 to number one for the Tampa Spartans, Joey Trawick. Trawick with hits now in 4 straight games and 6 of her last 7. Trawick roll it over to second, knocked down by Long. She recovers and just throws out Trawick by a step for out number 1. So Trawick cannot get another multi-hit game for the time being. Here comes Micaiah Brumble O'Neill.
And lest I leave out Mariah Gelhaus, who was here the last few years, another dominant Spartans pitcher that I've had the pleasure of calling games.
I think Gwen McGinnis and just the next one in that long lineage of aces for Leslie Cantor. 0-1 to count to Micaiah Brumble O'Neill. Sacrifice bunt, her first plate appearance today. Reese Twiggs, the reigning Sunshine State Conference pitcher of the week. Hot shot over to the curd, and Dyson handles it with calm collectiveness. 2 down.
Tell you what, as frustrating as it is to see these quick outs, you got to feel good about the way that the Spartans are putting the bat on the ball, though. These are not long extended at-bats where they're striking out. They're really seeing the ball well, and it's going to be a matter of time. Granted, they do have 5 hits already. It's going to be a matter of time before some of these start landing where they want them to.
Well, Yetter had one landed where she wanted to in the bottom of the third to bring home Joey Trawick to give the Spartans the 1-0 lead. They are trying to extend in the bottom of the fourth. Reese Twiggs, the junior, gives the 1-0. Up high, 2 balls and no strikes. Rollins 12-9 conference play. They are 5th in the league. Tampa 13 and 3. They are 13 and 5. Excuse me. They are 3rd, of course, behind St. Leo, who is undefeated in conference, and Eckerd, who is 15 and 3. We'll take a look around the league during the top of the 5th. 3 balls, no strikes to Henna Yetter. With Callie Salisbury on deck. Yetter takes strike 1. Yetter hitting .284 this year. Picked up her 5th RBI on that RBI single in the second.
Those 3-0 pitches that we just saw always fascinate me because conventional wisdom says, well, swing at it because, worst that happens is you swing and miss and it goes to 3-1. There's others that will say, well, if she's thrown 3 consecutive balls, stand there with the bat on your shoulder. Maybe she'll miss it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the pressure of the pitcher to say, oh, my gosh, 3-0, I better not throw a ball. So those are always a lot more fun to watch, and I think people give those scenarios credit for.
3-2. Breaking ball, jammed up shallow right field. Peritoni camps on the end, and it'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Reese Twiggs, her first of the evening. 4 in the books on Tampa, Florida on this sunny Friday evening. 1-0 lead for the Spartans on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Going to the top of the 5th. 1-0 lead for Tampa. Cambry Todd, Brooke Dyson, Maddie Carr to the plate. As that one will get fouled off the screen and land in front of Kenna Kryler. Victor Anderson alongside Bruce Wozniak. Glad that you're with us. Tampa with the lone run and all the hits so far tonight. Gwen McGinnis has retired the first 12 she's faced on this Friday evening.
And she has 3 strikeouts, and Cambry Todd is one of those 3. She struck out back in the 2nd inning.
Jackie McKenna was an outstanding player over at Mississippi State, taking over the coaching duties at first for Christine Rosal of Fevers. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and we'll see a rare trip to the circle for Kenna Kryler to kind of have a little conversation with her All-American Gwen McGinnis.
You can see the height difference when she does make one of those rare visits to the circle. Kreidler 5'11", McGinnis 5'5", like talking to your little sister.
But they are both very tall in their stature in terms of their performance, and just out of reach of Jenna Newpaver. I got Coach McKenna chasing out of the way.
Ironic, too, that I say looking at your little sister when, in fact, it's McGinnis who's the senior and Kryler who's the junior.
Misses up. That one just missed, but just missed by much. And you see Kenna Kryler talking to Mr. Rodriguez, asking where that one missed. That was hit to left center field. Treywick calls off Johns, and she tracks it down. Now number 1.
I think one of the things that works to McGinnis's advantage, and that efficiency that I always talk about where she doesn't waste time between pitches, if a batter even wants to think about challenging the home plate umpire, there's no time for that. McGinnis is already ready with the next pitch. You got to be squared and ready. You can't be talking to the umpire. He's not going to change his mind anyways.
Strike 1 to Brooke Dyson. Dyson lined out to Reynolds at short back in the 2nd inning. Upstairs 1-1. When you think about, when you really break down the numbers McGinnis has had in 2026, just some of these splits are just ridiculous to think about in her senior campaign, as that one's fouled off Dyson to bring the count to 1-1. Actually, 1-2, excuse me. McGinnis, .63 ERA in conference play, .29 ERA here at the friendly confines at Mimoli Family Stadium, and she has a count even 2-2. And in the month of March, Bruce, where she broke the single season scoreless streak, 3-2, her ERA was .11. allowed only 1 earned run in 64 2/3 innings, and that came in the final game of the month against Embry-Riddle. Payoff pitch, center field, Trey Wickets there, out number 2.
I'll tell you what, when the game goes the way this one is going, there's 2 outs in the top of the 5th. If you're Rollins, you say, we're only down by 1. There's time. There's really not. Time is all of a sudden, I would say, officially a factor at this point. 2 outs in the top of the 5th, and you need to get a run across just to tie it.
You need to find a way to get anything going, and mess up the rhythm of Gwen McGinnis. Ball 1 to Matty Carr.
And if you tie that in with my statement about the way that the Spartans have been hitting the ball, and that eventually one of those is going to drop the way they want it to, the threat is kind of imminent, and that really adds that urgency.
Fouled away by Carr, 0-2. We mentioned Twiggs winning the Conference Pitcher of the Week honors. Carr, the Sunshine State Conference Player of the Week. Instead, will bounce out to Reynolds at second. Out short. 15 up, 15 down. For Gwen McGinnis, we'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Still 1-0 Tampa on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Reese Twiggs has only allowed 5 hits in a run, but the problem is Gwen McGinnis has allowed absolutely nothing. Tampa leads 1-0. We're going to the bottom of the 5th as the press box is worried about the potential
commentator's curse.
Exactly. Victor Anderson, Bruce Wozniak, the individuals who are tasked to not put said curse like Danhausen, since it is WrestleMania weekend after all. 8-9-1 due up for Tampa. Carly Salisbury, Kinsey Reynolds, Jenna Newpaver. Salisbury popped out to second and long in the second. Takes the first pitch for strike 1. And we mentioned the pitch count for Gwen McGinnis. Reese Twiggs has been just as efficient in the circle as well. 4 innings pitched. They're out 38 pitches, 28 strikes. Number 39 misses outside for ball 1.
Yeah, it was 37 coming into this inning. She's thrown 2 so far, so we'll give it to her and say she's averaging 9 per inning, which is most impressive. Just really needs that run support from the Tars bats.
1-1, that one drops in on a hook. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And of course, Bruce, with your time watching Tampa softball, you see we talk about the great pitchers who have played for Tampa and some of the names for Rollins who have worn that uniform over the many, many years. Salisbury almost took out Kinsey Reynolds in the on-deck circle. Keeps the count to 1-2. Think about Nicole Anderson, Nikki Fogel, Bitzer. Just some of the few names who have worn that Rollins uniform, and Reese Twiggs. They're going to add her name to among those greats. Another good swing on another foul ball from the freshman first baseman, Cowley Salisbury.
And the good news for the Tars fans is that Twiggs is just a junior. The Spartans, of course, will lose McGinnis after this season since she's a senior. So the Rollins fans get to have Twiggs around for another year.
1-2, missing the outside, 2-2. And what makes Rollins have been such a solid program even with Coach Rose of the Fevers taking over, is they've always found the ability to bring up Division I players to the Division II level, especially in terms of pitchers or junior college pitchers as well, and have molded them into phenomenal arms. And that one goes foul and right into the right field side. Rollins defensively will have Todd Long, Leighton, Theisen, the infield first and third. Zoranic, Hemonic, and Petroni, the outfield left to right. Salisbury times a breaking ball. That one again will go foul. This one stays into the stadium. Salisbury getting a good read on that breaking ball from Reese Twiggs. Salisbury kind of has been up and down the lineup a lot in her freshman campaign. Had hit in the number 2 slot a couple of games just earlier this month. There's been hitting mainly in the bottom third of that Tampa order. Going outside 3-2. Allison Speck is on. Allison Speck is actually warming up right now in the bullpen for Tampa. Probably getting some activity, just getting warmed up. Of course, Speck has only made one appearance this season. I'm just trying to get some. Just trying to get her arm loose, especially when you're in a situation where you've only made one appearance all season long. Just want to keep yourself active. I think Coach Cantor definitely want to maybe try and use her in a doubleheader tomorrow. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Carly Salisbury, leading off the Tampa 5th. Spartans ahead 1-0. Twist gets the sign. Roxton deals a payoff. And Salisbury again will waste another one foul. And Bruce is almost similar to what we saw on the top of the first with Dalen Hedmonic for Rollins with her 11-pitch at bat against Gwen McGinnis before she eventually flew out to Trawick and center.
Yeah, Salisbury is really making Twiggs work for it, this at bat.
Breaking ball again, and another ball wasted away from the freshman. You see Coach Cantor loving the effort and the fight from her young freshman. Got to celebrate her birthday on just over a month ago. A doubleheader versus Caldwell. Another 3-2 from Twiggs. This one in play. Chopped to Theisen at third, and Twiggs wins the long battle against Salisbury for out number 1.
That at bat, though, that very much warrants, the pat on the back when you get back to the dugout from your teammates, because as you so accurately pointed out, a freshman going against an established pitcher like Twiggs, who's a junior, and you really got to give credit to Salisbury for hanging in there that long at bat.
13 pitch at bat by Salisbury before she grounded out. And only needs 1 pitch to split the gap and right down the field is Kenzie Reynolds. Reynolds around second. She gets the wave around for Leslie Cantor. Reynolds will be up at third. Ball does not get away this time. And it'll be a stand-up triple for Reynolds, her first of the season. And it'll set things up for Jenna Newpaver.
That ball found just the right spot to roll to the outfield fence. And I don't even think for a second that Kenzie Reynolds even considered, do I stop at second? Even considered, do I even need to look to third to see if I'm being waved around? Because it was such a perfect landing place out there against the fence. And so the door opens quite widely now for U Tampa here in the bottom of the 5th.
Maddie Carr will bring in the infield to discuss how they're going to handle Reynolds at third and Newpaver at the plate, while she has a chance to chat with longtime assistant Denise Rubio.
Now, don't forget that as I was talking about, the Spartan bats are looking good. They just needed to drop like that one did. Newpaver, she started off the game with a single, so she's already kind of got the blood flowing here, and could be one of the players that the Spartans would like to see at the plate in this situation, now having a runner at third.
Let's see how this chess match unfolds with Newpaver and Reynolds standing at third. Tars have the quarter infield pinching in for right now. That's outside for ball 1. Infield playing in for Rollins, so anything that hits over Leighton or Long will easily score Reynolds from third. Outfield playing almost normal depth right now, Bruce. That one That's inside. Nice looking pitch from Twigs, but ball 2.
Yeah, I'm thinking that, if it was someone like Kreidler, you can see them going for the sac fly. I don't see that out of New Paver. I think they're looking for her to get that base hit.
The New Paver doesn't have to hit it far. It just have to hit it far enough in this instance, especially with Long playing in along with Todd and Dyson. Drops it on the outside edge, strike 1.
Home plate umpire Ralph Rodriguez punctuating that one as the count goes to 2-1.
New Paver not showing bunt, at least not yet. Taking all the way 3-1. Snap throw by Carr to chase Reynolds back at third.
Well, they keep Reynolds honest over there at third, but realistically, I don't know that the coverage was quite there to begin with.
You always got to keep throw like that is always dangerous, especially with one that hops in front of the third baseman. New Paver was swinging all the way. Coach Cantor disappointed. That ball did not find contact. 3-2. Full count to New Paver with Abby Johns in the on-deck circle. 1 out in the 5th. Spartans looking to extend their lead. Twigs with a payoff pitch. High and inside, ball 4. No damage done really, Bruce, with New Paver getting the walk. But now you have that runner at first base, so it opens up more possibilities for Leslie Cantor with Abby Johns at the plate.
Say that ball 4 pitch came awfully close to hitting New Paver. Either way, she was going to end up on first base. And so the Spartans with the runners on the corners now and only 1 out in the bottom of inning number 5.
Here's Johns. Let's see if New Paver's on the move. She is. Swing and a miss. They won't even make a throw over to second base. They'll give New Paver the stolen base. And I kind of anticipated, Bruce, that situation. You got that runner at third. You got the infield in. Just concede second base. And force Johns or Feast to get a base hit to knock them both in.
Carr, I think, hesitated too long. Didn't make the throw to second, which was her initial intent. If she would have jumped up and released immediately, they could have possibly gotten New Paver at second.
Ball in the strike to Johns. 2 Spartans on board in the bottom of the 5th. Up 1-0. Reese Twiggs trying to work out of her tightest situation of the night. Drops below the knees, 2-1. You got Cam Feast on deck. And you know that Coach Leslie Cantor will love nothing more for Johns to come through to knock in at least 1, possibly 2 with a base hit. 2 balls, 1 strike. 3-1.
Yeah, everybody defensively kind of holding their positions. No real adjustments made here for Abby Johns.
See if Johns gets the green light to swing or she keeps that bat on the shoulder. Swings away, but almost caught Reynolds, but foul, thankfully, for all parties involved. 3-2.
It's another example of just great contact that the Spartans are making in this game.
Twiggs with another 3-2 pitch upcoming. And again, it'll go foul. Hits on top of the third base dugout where the Spartans reside.
Getting back to that statement that I made about time being a factor, if the Spartans are able to convert the 2 base runners, it's going to be a huge uphill climb for the Tars. What at that point, if it finished up 3-0 after 5, they're going to be down to their final 6 outs.
And considering who's in the circle, 3-0 can feel like 30-0. Another 3-2 pitch for Twigs. Ground ball to short. They will get at least 1. No, they won't. Great play at short by Lane to cut down Reynolds at third. She hesitated ever so slightly and gets the throw on time to Carr to tag out Reynolds. So it'll be a fielder's choice. Reynolds out 6-2. So first and third and 2 out. And it'll be up to Cam Feast.
Yeah, you could tell that the Tars were just salivating at the possibility of a double play. not to be had.
Hits in for strike one. The ball got hit hard enough where if Reynolds broke for home, all Layton had to do was make sure that throw was on target to Carr, and it was. 0-1 to Feast. Feast single back in the third. She's 1 for 2 tonight. Ham jammed up 0-2. Again, these are the situations that Coach Cantor has stressed time and time again. She wants her team to be better in terms of executing. Had second and third and 1 out. Couldn't get a run home there. Now has first and third and 2 out. And Reese Twiggs 1 pitch away from working her way out of the inning. That is not the pitch, 1-2.
Yeah, that was outside. And, it's a glass half full, glass half empty because she's also 1 pitch away from seeing her team fall behind 2-0.
And the Spartans had to play who can do such damage. A little flip by top but foul has Coach Rubio. It has been a inning of opportunities for the Spartans. He got a one out triple from Kenzie Reynolds. Jenna Newpaper walked, stole second. Johnson to a fielder's choice. Reynolds was thrown out at home. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Cam Feast. Feast again will send out one towards the Spartan dugout towards Kenna Kreidler.
Just to put a Rollins spin on this, you get out of this inning and you're still only trailing 1-0. That's huge. Because all of a sudden, your first batter comes to the plate in the top of the 6th, and she represents the tying run after, oh my gosh, what has happened up to that point in the game, and dodging this threat that the Spartans have going here.
And what a big boost of momentum that would be for the ladies from Winter Park if Twiggs can give them such an opportunity. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. 1-0 lead for Tampa. Camp Feast at the plate. Jenna Newpaper at third. Abby Johns at first. Twiggs' delivery is high, and it's a full count. See if Johns will be in motion on the 3-2. Another 3-2 pitch coming up for Reese Twiggs. She's had plenty of those in this bottom of the 5th. Johns was on the move, and Feast just fouls out the breaking ball.
Twiggs, before that pitch, you could see that she recognizes the enormity of the situation. She had taken her time, went to the rosin bag. She's doing it again here. Big moment for her and the Tars.
Can she keep this a 1-run game? And we'll ask for the sign again through the pitch comment at Rollins dugout. Three balls and 2 strikes. Can Twiggs work out of the jam? Slow roller, and it'll be an infield single for Cam Feast, and it's a 2-0 Tampa lead. I say it so many times, Bruce, is not how far you get it, but it's how far it goes, and it went just far enough in front of Dyson and Layton to bring home Newpaper and extend the Tampa advantage.
Yeah, I don't think too many people who are watching this game would say, if only she could get an infield hit. I think we're looking for the ball to leave the infield and the run to cross the plate, but at this point, I don't want to make this sound like the Spartans have this in the bag. They were only up 1-0, so they were in a position where they'll take it any way they can get it.
Here's Kenna Kreidler. Kreidler takes the first pitch, ball 1. I say takes the pitch because the two at-bats she had, she swung on the first pitch, she fouled out the third, and flew out to left, respectively, to end those innings. Showing a little bit more patience, the junior catcher, and it's ahead 2 balls, no strikes. And we'll see Maddie Carr come on out and have a little quick word with Twiggs.
Kenna Kreidler in this game, we talked about Gwen McGinnis going over 100 strikeouts. Well, in this game, Kenna Kreidler has gone over 100 at-bats for the season. The number 4 hitter. She came in to this game hitting .333 with 3 home runs and 21 RBI. Not who the Tars would like to see at the plate right now. The Spartans having not only Feast over at first, but a runner in scoring position in the person of Abby Johns.
And Crowder takes a stride to bring it to 2-1. He referenced those 3 home runs for Kenna Kryler. All of them came in the month of February as that one's a foul tip into the glove of Carr for strike 2. 2 of those 3 home runs came in a conference opening series against St. Leo. The other came against West Alabama in a tournament hosted by Embry-Riddle on February 6. 2-2 to Kryler. Gets jammed. That could find some grass, and it will. It drops in. Running around is John. She slides and safe. Kryler goes over to second. And again, Bruce, is not how far. You don't have to hit it far. You just hit it far enough. Kryler's single makes it 3-0 Tampa.
Yeah, and as much as we were hinting at the power that Kreidler has, you're exactly right. Just placed it where it needed to be to get another run across. And now it's a 3-0 U Tampa lead here in the bottom of inning number 5.
And here comes Joey Trawick. Trawick has thrived in these similar situations. It's evidence in the series finale versus Nova Southeastern 2 weekends ago. That one will travel foul and then to the Tampa bullpen. Actually, that was last weekend, last Saturday, where Joey Trawick picked up her first multi-hit game. Her first multi-RBI game was the Tampa Spartan. She went 3 for 3 in that game, as Tampa took the win over Nova Southeastern 7-1 to complete the series sweep. 1-1. And another opportunity for Trawick right now. Feast at third, Kryler at second. Still 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th.
You're never comfortable if you're a coach and you see one of your players struggling, but for them to do it early in the season is certainly
hit well to
preferred.
the left. That one will sail towards the warning track and caught by Zaratnik to end the inning. But the Spartans add 2 2-out RBIs by Cam Feast and Kenna Kryler. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors. 2 Spartans left. We're through 5. 3-0 Spartans on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Top of the 6th we go here in Amoli Family Stadium as Gwen McGinnis set to throw her one warm-up pitch for Kenna Kryler before she will take on bottom third of the Rollins order. Haley Zaratnik, Claire Long, and Michaela Layton. Victor Anderson along with Bruce Wozniak. Glad that you're with us on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Gwen McGinnis has been Gwen McGinnis. No tar has yet to reach tonight.
Keep in mind these 2 teams will go at it again tomorrow, a scheduled doubleheader, as they face each other 3 times in the span of less than 24 hours.
That was sit well but out of play as we see Coach Christine Rose of the Fevers returning back to the third base side for the Rollins College Tars. Mentioned earlier in the broadcast that Rollins next week will take on former Tar legendary head coach Michelle Frew as she brings her Eckerd Tritons to Winter Park. Eckerd 15-3 in the conference. Only behind St. Leo. Almost upstairs, brings the count to 1-2.
In case you were not with us at the start of our broadcast, teams with winning streaks on the line here. The Spartans have won 4 in a row. The Tars come into this game having won 3 in a row.
Both of them coming off series sweeps last weekend. Rollins taking care of Barry in Martin Luther King Park. Of course, Tampa last weekend sweeping over Southeastern. Tampa next weekend will travel to Melbourne to take on Florida Tech. Hits off the knob of the bat. Count remains 1-2. I think Coach Roosevelt Beavers was hoping her left fielder could lean into that one just a little bit. Count remains 1-2. Here's McGinnis. Back up the middle, and that'll be the first base hit of the night.
More than a tip of the cap to Gwen McGinnis. Takes Rollins until the top of the 6th to finally get their first hit of the game.
And the press box is unfairly accusing allegations on yours truly. I will have them speak to my attorneys afterwards. Up high for ball 1. Now, the whole thing about broadcasting curses and stuff like that, hey, that's a lot for the fans. And all I have to say, Vince Scully mentioned Sandy Koufax had a perfect game on a late night in 1967 when he threw his perfect game. And I didn't see fans crow about Vince Scully doing that then, but maybe Vince Scully was broadcasting in 2026. Fans will be doing that, but I digress. Crowder got one fouled off. Looks like the inside of her right thigh from Claire Long. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Claire Long. Long lays down a bunt right over the newspaper. Double clutch, but smartly elects to make the throw over to first. Didn't want to risk an errant throw or a situation where she misses that play at second base. So it goes to the sacrifice bunt, 5-3. And we'll see a pinch hitter for Rollins.
Yeah, I think that play is also, to some extent, muscle memory. She's done it so many times that it's kind of natural to go to first. And I think it also shows the confidence that the Spartans have. They're not beating themselves up for there being a Tars runner on second base with 1 out here in the top of the 6th.
It'll be the freshman Alondra Maldonado Ortiz. Product out of Winter Springs. Getting an opportunity in the 9 slot for Layton. Takes ball 1 inside.
She's hitting .207 on the season. Gets a chance here in a somewhat pressure situation for her Tars.
She's ahead, 2 balls, no strikes. So Rodney at second base, 1 away. Takes over a strike, 2-1. As Bruce referenced, doubleheader between these two rivals tomorrow afternoon, 1 and 3. Here on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network, breaking ball drops in to even up the count, 2-2. Line just past Newpaver. It'll be first and third. And the Tars have something cooking in the top of the 6th off Gwen McGinnis.
Maldonado Ortiz rewards her coach. Freshman coming through. And all of a sudden, the tying run comes to the plate.
We'll see if Layton will re-enter the game for Maldonado Ortiz as she does her job with the pinch hit single. Though it looks like it's going to be Lucy McLogan. So McLogan will run at first for the pinch hitter, Maldonado Ortiz. Back to the top of the order, Hedmonic. Oh, the second, and she almost got thrown out trying to trot over to second base. So 1-0 to count. The Hedmonic. Pops that one fast right on the netting near the Spartan faithful sitting next to the third base side. Upaber charges in, now halfway to the plate. Drops into left field, and it's a 3-1 game. Rollins playing small ball, and the Tars have the tying run on base.
I'm looking over to the Spartans dugout to see if Leslie Cantor, she is in conversation with someone. I'm waiting to see if she's going to come out to the pitching circle.
Yeah, she's gonna have a little conference with her defense as well. We're gonna see another change for Christine Rosa Lefevers. We're gonna see a pinch hitter for Rollins. That's gonna be Jenna Borkey hitting in the number 2 spot for Perrintoni.
It looked to me like Cantor was maybe asking for someone from the dugout. Perhaps Kelsey Winters to go warm up.
No, well, Kelsey Winters is not available. She was favoring, has some tape on her left foot. And I think Coach Cantor's kind of recalibrate the infield, if you will.
Well, I said that based solely on what looked like Cantor holding up numbers. It looked like she first held up 2 fingers. So if she was doing a jersey number, I thought that maybe it was 25 that she held up.
I think she was mentioning the pinch hitter coming up for Borkey. So the extended infield conference with Coach Cantor has been adjourned. Here's Jenna Borkey. Borkey, one of those Rollins seniors to the plate. She is 267 with 7 driven in. Second and now they got her in a rundown. And they go to second, they'll go to third, and everybody is safe. So some tricky base running from Coach Christine Rosa Lefevers. Hypnotic gets Reynolds in a rundown. Gets the stolen base, so it's second and third. And the Tars a base hit away from tying things up.
Yeah, very unfortunate turn of events. Reynolds looked over at just the wrong time. She figured that she had the runner and just wanted to check over at third to see what was happening there. And just in that moment when she looked away, that's when Hegemonic skipped past her and got safely to second.
Had a chance to apply that tag while in the processes of looking over back at third.
And for the record, there is not anyone warming up in the Spartans bullpen.
Oh, and 2 to count to Jenna Borkey, the pinch hitter for Rollins. Tars down 2 in the 6th. And down goes Borkey swinging. 2 out.
Tell you what, you really got to feel for Kenzie Reynolds. You really don't see that happen very often. Those are usually pretty routine, and she was just trying to do what any player would, which is just to check and make sure nothing's happening with the runner over at third.
Thiessen trying to go for that Tampa Spartan sign in dead center, but instead falls behind 0-1.
Yeah, Tars still with a great opportunity here.
To left, to Johns, 10 the inning. Tars break up the no-hitter and the shutout, but they leave the tying runs in scoring position. 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, 2 Tars left on base. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th. Tampa will look for insurance when we come back on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Bottom of the sixth here at Mamoli Family Stadium. Both Brianna Perrintoni and Michaela Layden will re-enter the game for the Tars. Rollins getting the first hit and run off of Gwen McGinnis, but left the tying runs aboard Bruce. And Tampa will look to take advantage as they still lead 3-1.
It's amazing how this went from a potential no-hitter to all of a sudden Rollins very much changing the complexion in just that 1/2 inning. Not only do they get a run across, but they get 3 hits and give themselves some hope. I think the Spartans a little bit uncomfortable under the neckline and are probably going to try to see if they can get at least one more run across now that the Tars' bats have woken up.
Ball 1 to Micaiah Brummel-O'Neill. 6-7-8 duo for the Spartans. Hannah Yetter and Carly Salisbury will hit after the freshman designated player. She has a sacrifice bunt and a line out to third. Going outside, 2 balls, no strikes. 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Spartans. They've left 5. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Tars. They've left 2. Reese Twiggs has kept the Tars in it through 5+ innings of work. Throwing outside, 3 balls and no strikes to Brummel-O'Neill. Twiggs has scattered 8 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, no strikeouts. Now on 84 pitches, 56 of which for strikes. Pitch 85. He's in for strike 1. One thing we like to see from Brummel-O'Neill is that showing a little bit more patience at the plate. Had a couple instances, so she was ahead in the count 3-1, has chased after some off of pitches and has made weak contact and popped out. This time, ground ball hit over to Thyssen at third. Double clutch gets to the first round, number 1.
I think the Tars, if they can do that 2 more times, it's just going to increase their confidence going into the top of the 7th. You hate to have to put it all together that late, but if they can hold off the Spartans, push a couple across in the top of the 7th, I think they'll consider this a very good road game and put all the pressure on the Spartans, who I don't want to say had it on cruise control, but probably thought they were close to flipping that switch.
And Yetter goes out to the first pitch and flies out to Hemonic in center for out number 2, and brings up a pinch hitter for the Spartans. It was looked like it would be Carly Salisbury to come to the plate, but instead we will see who will emerge. Again, no Kelsey Winters available for the Spartans in this series opener. And it's going to be, it'll be Olivia Feldman. So Feldman will pinch it.
Feldman has appeared in 18 games this season, just 16 at-bats, though. Hitting .250.
4 RBIs on the season for the junior. Feldman takes that 0-1 breaker from Twiggs low. Ball and a strike. Rollins will have the heart of their order due up in the top of the 7th. Todd, Thyssen, and Carr against Gwen McGinnis.
I know she doesn't need my endorsement, but I do like the move by Cantor to go to Feldman. It's someone that Twiggs has not seen so far in this game. It's someone who's been around for a few years. She is a junior. Obviously has enough confidence in her. And let's face it, they are up by 2 runs. It's not like they're playing from behind.
The 0-2. Feldman flips that one and fouls it away. With Trawick now being a regular in the Tampa lineup, it's been Feldman and Campbell and Ulrich who have been taking over the bulk of the pinch hitting duties for the Tampa bench. High and inside, the ball in 2 strikes.
I think this is a perfect
2-2,
example, Victor, of, you got to be ready when you're called upon. And for someone like Feldman that has the number of at-bats that I mentioned, here's an opportunity to come through for us.
2 balls.
Coach is showing confidence in you.
Yep, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Feldman fouls that one away. We'll do it all again with a 2-2 count.
I mentioned earlier when the freshman for Rollins came through, make your coach look good.
Mm-hmm.
Reward her for this decision to bring in off the bench.
And you will get rewarded with more opportunities when you come through, when your number gets called. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Feldman breaking ball, drops out in the left center field, and as if on cue, Bruce, Olivia Feldman comes through, rewards Coach Cantor with a 2-out single.
I'd like to send my personal thanks to Olivia Feldman for making me look good.
So now Kenzie Reynolds will come to the plate. It looks like we will see Salisbury re-enter the game to run at first. And gets a nice round of applause from the fans and high five from Coach Cantor. And that's how you stay in Coach Cantor's good graces. You stay ready. When your number is called, you execute.
And as you said, it was an excellent point that you made. Now Cantor will think of Feldman a little bit quicker next time. It'll be a little bit of an easier decision. Say, hey, she came through against Rollins.
Hard shot over to short. Can't go to second, but Layden will go to Todd at first. And that ends the inning. So Tampa cannot take advantage of the pinch hit single from Olivia Feldman. No runs, 1 hit, 1 Spartan left on base. 6 innings in the books at Memoli Family Stadium. Spartans 3, Tards 1 on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Top of the 7th, then we're going to have a pinch hitter to lead things off. It'll be Chloe Bauer to lead off. So it'll be Bauer, Thyssen, and Carr. 4, 5, 6 to take on Gwen McGinnis. Bauer takes ball 1. Victor Anderson alongside Bruce Wars and Yankel Willis as Bauer has to fight the sun to see the signs from Rollins assistant Jackie McKenna. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes.
You know, you have to wonder if McGinnis doesn't come out with a little bit of a chip on her shoulder this half inning after that top of the 6th, giving up 3 hits and a run and almost daring Rollins.
2 balls and 1 strike. Bauer in the season 3 for 10 with 2 runs scored. Little tapper back to McGinnis. Has to hurry. Just gets her out at first. And I mean just gets her out at first.
Kind of fitting, though, that McGinnis had to do that one herself after the comment that I just made. And so Rollins potentially down to their last 2 outs now.
Here comes Brooke Dyson. Dyson, the Tars' leading hitter entering tonight. She's 0 for 2. Lined out to short and flew out to center. Fouled away. Salisbury, of course, back in the game at first. Salisbury, Yetter, Renner's a new favorite to Tampa infield. The outfield, Johns, Treywick, and Feast, where Kryler and McGinnis the battery. 0-1, high above the Rollins in gold, trimmed with blue. 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, doubleheader will take place tomorrow afternoon at 1 and 3.
As though you read my mind, I always find these opening games of this 3-game series that the Spartans play so frequently, 3 in less than 24 hours. I always find the first game rather fascinating. You're feeling each other out at the beginning just for that game, but then it's a step back to say, okay, here's how the overall game went as it relates to us preparing for tomorrow.
Fouled away, brings the count to 1 and 2. Quick look around the Sunshine State Conference scoreboard. Florida Southern leading Palm Beach Atlantic 1-0 there in the bottom of the 3rd in Lakeland. Embry-Riddle takes the series opener against Lynn 3-1. St. Leo leads for Southeastern 5-0. And Camp Feast had the 9-3 put out, but a throw skips away from Carly Salisbury. And the reigning Sunshine State Conference Player of the Week will come to the plate as a potential tying run. So it'll be a base hit for Thyssen. And it'll be an air charged to Salisbury. So it's a single and an E3. And now we're going to have the umpires have a conversation about, I don't know about what they're having a discussion about her. Maybe about Thyssen, about.
It's something to do with McGinnis because Andrew Denawa, the infield umpire, is pointing at the pitching circle.
Well, the thing is, if it was a balk, then Rollins should be able to take the result of the play, which means Thyssen should stay at second base. And having a conversation with Christine Rose of the Fevers, and now she will have a conversation with her home plate umpire, Ralph Rodriguez. Again, if it was an illegal pitch against McGinnis, that's a live ball. And then Rollins should be able to take whatever result is favorable for them. And I'm pretty sure they'll take the single in the air on Salisbury. And it gives a little extra time for Maddie Carr to think about what will happen. And I think they're having a conversation about actually Thyssen going around first. Again, that throw from Feast got away from Salisbury. And I don't know if they're talking about if Salisbury potentially obstructed with Thyssen's ability to go to second, and if she should be rewarded third base as a result of it.
I'm looking over at the Spartans dugout. This is starting to go long enough that I'm kind of watching for Leslie Cantor to come out and look for an explanation herself.
Well, here's hoping that we don't need to bring out the rule book like what happened a month ago when Tampa took on Embry-Riddle in game one of that doubleheader, where the game got delayed for nearly 20 minutes because of a issue with how the lineup card was written. But
and they actually they made a phone call during that break in the action.
Yes.
Called the NCAA for a ruling.
Okay, so it looks like everything is on the up and up. Thyssen stays at second. One out. Tying run at the plate and the Conference Player of the Week and Maddie Carr. Carr takes ball one.
Her presence in the batter's box is as though she heard you and was reminded and just has that confidence that, yeah, I know that with one swing of the bat, I could tie this game up.
There's that one well on the screen above the facade. 1-1.
Maddie Carr, one of those many seniors that we talked about in this Rollins lineup.
7 of the 10 seniors in the Rollins lineup today. Another one wasted by Carr that brings the count to 1-2. Tampa trying to get in a favorable position when the first true regional rankings get released in 2 weeks. The first one coming out on Wednesday will be by alphabetical order, so don't freak out, Spartan faithful, and especially Rollins, who might be considered for the top 10 as well. Again, with the South Regional rankings, for those who are following Division II softball for the first time, if you win your conference, you're outside of the top 10, you're going to get an automatic bid to the tournament. So likely you want to be within that top 6 or 7. As Carr again fouls one past Coach McKinnon at third. Right now it appears that the road through the South will go through San Antonio, Florida, and the number 1 ranked St. Leo Lions.
Gwen McGinnis flirting with 100 pitches thrown in this game. Not quite there yet.
High and inside, 2-2.
I believe unofficially she's at 97.
Yep, 97. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second for Rollins. Number 1 coming down to the late innings, and a wicked changeup by McGinnis. Fool's call for strikeout number 5 for Gwen McGinnis.
That's a huge strikeout. That duel between, as you said, the Player of the Week and McGinnis, who's been player of the everything.
2 down. It is up to Kaylee Zaradnik. She goes out to the first pitch. Salisbury near the Rollins dugout. She makes the catch. That is the ball game. Spartans win.
And was that the 100th pitch of the game for McGinnis? Or was that the 99th, fittingly enough? And so the final line score, the Spartans finished with 3 runs on 8 hits, 1 error. And Rollins, who again was hitless through 5, finishes with 1 run on 4 hits and no errors. The Spartans improve to 27-8, and Rollins falls to 24-13, which means that the Spartans' win streak increases to 5, and Rollins see their streak end at 3.
And a big one for Tampa. Gwen McGinnis picks up the win. She improves to 18-3. Reese Twiggs tackled with the loss. She falls to 12-8, as Bruce referenced. Tampa 27-8, 14-5 in conference. Rollins 24-13, 12-10 in conference play. Final 2 games of the series will come up tomorrow afternoon here at Maine Mobley Family Stadium at 1 and 3 p.m. We'll have all the action for you here on a busy day of action on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Women's lacrosse right behind us at 12 noon as they play their quarterfinal matchup of the Sunshine State Conference Women's Lacrosse Tournament. For Bruce Wozniak and the rest of our crew on Victor Anderson, we say so long from Maine Mobley Family Stadium. Spartans win the series opener against the Rollins Tars 3-1 on another pitching masterpiece from Gwen McGinnis. This has been Tampa Softball on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. We'll talk to you tomorrow afternoon. And until then, so long.